For me, my introduction to GWAR, I had kind of known about them, but earlier this year in May, I went to the Sonic Temple Music Festival in Columbus, Ohio, and we talked about that on episode 37 of Owen's Rock and Metal podcast. So if you want my recap of that, you can go back and listen to that now. GWAR was at that show, at that festival. I wasn't there to see GWAR. I was there to see Metallica and some of the other big acts. But on my way out of the main stage, I believe after Rob Zombie had finished performing, GWAR was performing. And it was a huge crowd for them. And we were kind of like, okay, what are they going to be about? Let's just kind of stand here instead of fighting through all these people. Let's just see what's going on here. And it was crazy. There was the whole, if you're not familiar with GWAR, if you look them up, there's blood involved. There's a lot of blood involved. And they were spraying it everywhere. And as an outdoor show in the summer when I saw them in Columbus, and I wasn't there for long, I saw maybe a song or two. I was with my mom actually, and GWAR is not her thing. So she's like, let's keep it moving. So we kept it moving. But, I bookmarked that in the back of my head. Several months later, Josh here reaches out to me. He says, hey, do you want to go to GWAR? And I'm like, you know what? Let's go to GWAR. Why not? Got a deal on tickets. They were running some sort of summer promo. They were $25. So usually to see a good show like that, you're going to have to pay an arm and a leg, especially nowadays. So it was really good for the bargain. Something new. My knowledge going into GWAR, I knew no songs. I had seen some of their stage acts, so I know what they do on stage. And I thought, well, that's kind of fun. Let's go partake in that. Let's go kind of soak it in. But I knew nothing going in. And I think it was kind of neat for me to go in with a blind eye to the music side of things. Because usually bands I'm going to see, I'm obsessed with. I know all their catalog, I know what they're going to play. And this was a case where it was just going for pure vibes. Now, you had said you kind of knew GWAR. Were you familiar with their music, or were you kind of just going for the vibes as well?
Honestly, I knew most about their theatrics and their crazy costumes.
Yeah.
I knew less about what was actually going to happen on the stage, and I was kind of blown away when I actually saw what happened. I think we were actually at work one day, and you were like, "Hey, I just wanted to let you know, we went with Shreya, and Shreya is a huge Taylor Swift fan, and crazy things happened to Taylor Swift, and she was okay with that, which I was kind of surprised about, honestly. But my first actual experience with them was I was on YouTube, and their singer passed away maybe 10, 12 years ago. Not 100% sure on the date. His name was Odorous Ungerus, and they threw a Viking funeral for him. So, he was out on a lake. His casket was out on a lake on a boat, and they fire this flaming arrow, and it was incredible. And ever since then, I knew I at least wanted to at least experience some type of his legacy, because that's incredible.
And that we did. Going to see GWAR, obviously, as we've touched on, huge stage show. A lot of, we're going to get into it more, but a lot of blood, a lot of gore, a lot of just crazy like monster costumes that are maybe unappealing to some. I mentioned my mom. This was not really her cup of tea. You mentioned, you brought your girlfriend Shreya. Did you have any trouble convincing her to go, or was it she was really invested and really wanted to go?
I wouldn't say she really wanted to go. I think she didn't know what she was in for, and it was incredible. We had actually gone to see Linkin Park in Philly back in August, so we had just been to a concert. We were kind of riding that high. It had been a long time since we'd been to a concert before then, so we were just kind of got bit by the bug, and it's something I did when I was a younger man, and now, like I said, since I met you, it's been a great experience, a great resurgence for me personally, getting back into metal and concerts, and it's a great vibe. I appreciate you, man. You're awesome.